Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today's video I wanted to talk about a short list of CGC 9.8 Batman comics that I would think would make really good buys here sort of before the Batman movie comes out. And you know, not just those 3 books, it is kind of just a general recommendation video I think for Batman comic books to buy them now before sort of the promotion machine kind of heats up for the Batman movie. And then prices will be higher during that time for a lot of the books that we'll talk about. And yeah, so I got a short list of 3 of them, which are kind of like the main obvious keys maybe. But I got 2 boxes here of my CGC 9.8 comics. So I think there's over 30 other CGC 9.8 Batman comics I want to show you too. And so yeah, hopefully you can get some ideas from this list. I'm sure you will, because yeah, Batman I think is a really iconic character. For me, it's my pick of the DC comic books, so I've chosen to basically focus on Batman books, and I love 1980s Batman books. Yeah, from Batman 357 to Batman 402, I believe it is a really low print run of Batman that happened throughout the 80s, certainly compared to like Marvel books of that era. Marvel books were way higher printed during that era. So a lot of the books that I have are during that era, but let's just get into the short list now, and then I'll show you pretty much all my other Batman CGC 9.8s as well. So first one on the list is Batman 357, CGC 9.8 white pages. I was lucky to get this about a month ago now, I would say. Great thing about this book, you get a first full appearance of Killer Croc, first Jason Todd, which I think is probably even a more important first appearance. There's only 194 CGC 9.8s in the blue label for this book. So what I like about this book, you know, just the obvious like great art and all that, obviously, in first appearances. I think these 2 first appearances, you know, Jason Todd hasn't really been in a main movie yet. And, you know, I always say you kind of want to position yourself before the movie comes out. So I think Jason Todd's probably a little bit more of the important first appearance for Batman 357. But, you know, Killer Croc hasn't certainly been in a movie either, so you kind of get 2 first appearances of characters that are really iconic in Batman storylines that haven't been in sort of main motion picture movies yet. So there's that sort of upside in the book, and looks great on the census, you know, 194. So 1 of 194. A lot of those are probably like off-white to white pages too. So whenever you can buy a, you know, a collection item that's, you know, 1 of 190 something and has got a couple first appearances and classic cover. This is, yeah, definitely the key issue sort of the era, I would say. I've sort of come around to this issue. I always liked the sort of other secondary main issues in the era that we'll get to in this video. But recently just picked this one up, and really glad I did. I definitely got a pretty decent price on this one too. It was I picked it up for $417. Then, you know, 2 weeks later, just in the last few weeks here, another one I'd went for, I think it was $459 or something like that. And that was sort of the price I was looking to pay, or I expected to pay when I purchased this. But yeah, I think I really got a deal for $417. Colors are great, centering's great on this one. It's a direct edition, so, but still, yeah, $417 I paid for this. An issue I'd recommend, if you can grab it around that price, I think that's the lower end of a fair market value. On websites and everything, the fair market value for that book is like over $500, like just over 500. Okay, the next book here, I want to recommend sort of before the Batman movie comes out. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, number 1. It's, yeah, it's such a classic Batman book. You almost can't go wrong with this one. First appearance of Carrie Kelly, the girl Robin. Certainly how popular female characters are right now, and they're making movies of female characters. I think this character was really kind of people were speculating, I think, in the last 2 years here, because this book really shot up in the CGC 9.8 white pages to, yeah, $800-900 I saw a few go for. I sort of, you know, this is an early book, and I made a video about kind of a mistake that I made because I paid, I believe, just over $800 for mine, which admittedly is a full retail price, and kind of talked about that on that video. one of my earlier books, CGC 9.8 books that I bought. But still haven't made a live-action movie for Carrie Kelly. This is like one of the top 10 graphic novels of all time. Frank Miller, you know, doing the story. And I think he did some of the art as well. Yeah, some of the art too. But yeah, using a lot of like modern techniques and innovative story techniques for comic books in this book that ushered in a lot of, you know, artists and influenced a lot of artists. I know Todd McFarlane's on the record as saying this book specifically really influenced him, like how he wrote comic books, and I would think how he wrote Spawn, to be honest. So a classic book, yeah. There's 537 of them in the CGC 9.8s on the blue label. 18% is the CGC 9.8 ratio, which, you know, under 20 is pretty investment grade. And yeah, price, I think, you know, a flawless one in a new case, if you grab it for around $600, I think that's still a pretty decent deal. Under $600 for a flawless one, I think would be great. Sometimes you see flawless ones go for really expensive. Yeah, I think every now and then this kind of stirs up some underground promotion with it being like one of the top 10 graphic novels of all time, and people think of it as like the first modern Batman, even like a different modern interpretation of Batman. So yeah, it's really got up there, and I think right now it's a bit of a lull. There's no the Batman movie out yet, so time to buy it now for this book. Hopefully, yeah, again, get it. Hopefully, maybe closer to $500 for a really flawless one in the CGC 9.8 white pages. So next book is one of my probably personal favorite issues ever, super nostalgic issue for me. And bringing out a couple raw copies, because this is one where I have like multiple copies kind of in the raw. So I grabbed a newsstand of Batman 423 in the raw for, this was like $60 Canadian, I think it was. And it's like a 9.2, I would say. But you don't see the newsstands in a really good shape because, yeah, to kind of the untrained eye, it's almost perfect. But there are a couple spine dinks. And yeah, I don't see 423s in the newsstand version. First print newsstand version very often, so was happy to grab that off the guy. And I got 3 other in the first print, kind of very fine near mint versions. I've purchased these, you know, in the last 2 years, I would say. So I got 4 in the raw Batman 423, and yeah, the next book is Batman 423, so to recommend on my list. And yeah, I got 2 9.8 white pages versions too. And yeah, so Batman 423, there's only 92 of these in CGC 9.8. This is the classic Todd McFarlane cover. And I've mentioned it in my other videos there that, you know, I think this book will kind of just be similar to those Neil Adams covers where they're not really obvious key issues with like a first appearance or anything, but, you know, the one where Neil Adams cover homaged a really old detective book, forget the exact numbers, but that's pretty much a key issue now and is very collectible, and certainly I love that book too from the era. So I think this book will just be like that. It's, you know, just such a classic cover. I always say it's like a Spawn prototype issue almost, with the cape kind of having a mind of its own and his kind of spawned out eyes in the shadows. And CGC 9.8 ratio is 15% on this book. And I should say for Batman comics of this era, you're not going to get the 9.8 ratio as low as an Amazing Spider-Man book. Because in general, I think just there were less of these, number one. And Batman owners typically will keep their books for a long time. They won't sell them, and they're less likely to be sold and less likely to be in worse shape. So the CGC 9.8 ratio won't usually get into single digits unless you get into the 70s with Batman books. But yeah, they're more about the less 9.8, so 92 9.8s of these out there in the blue label. So yeah, I got 2 of 92, which is a great kind of thing for, you know, just being a comic book collector. But yeah, a couple of these had sold in the last little bit, just over $400. So 404, I know one was the final selling price. So about 400 for this. And, you know, if you get really lucky from maybe where the pictures aren't be looking as good, you might be taking a couple chances. You'll get it closer to like 350, 300. But a really nice looking one with nice scans, good colors like this one. This one's really nice. Yeah, pretty super happy to have 2 of these. And that's, yeah, a bunch of Raws too. One of my favorite issues for sure. So, yeah, and that, that could heat up just in general, like a lot of these other Batman books could heat up when the Batman movie promo starts to come out, which I'm not too sure exactly like when that's going to happen, but I'm sure it will eventually. Now, yeah, let's get into all my CGC 9.8 Batman books. Alright, this will be fun. Batman Beyond. Yeah, I completely recommend this book all the time. I got 2 of them, CGC 9.8, and a Raw copy too. I should have brought that out. I got in the Raw, I have the whole Batman Beyond original series from like 1 to 7, I think it is, in the Raw, and in really good shape too. Plus 2 CGC 9.8, so yeah, I really love Batman Beyond, and I recommend that. That was on our original video about 3 CGC 9.8s that you want to buy before a movie comes out. And there's no like Batman Beyond movie in the works, but I think it would be an amazing movie. So Batman Beyond #1, yeah, first Batman Beyond comics is kind of the one to get. I got Batman Legends of the Dark Knight #120. This is the first new Batgirl in her costume. So yeah, a book that could be heating up now. I haven't looked at prices to be honest, but with Birds of Prey coming out, because Batgirl is Cassandra Cain. Apparently she's young in the new movie, so I'm not too sure if that's going to heat up very much, if she's a main character in that movie or not. Batman 570 is the second appearance of Harley Quinn in DC continuity. Kind of her first appearance in the normal runs of Batman and Detective Comics. Yeah, pretty cool cover too. I grabbed these ones. One of my first CGC 9.8s that I purchased. So. Got a Batman 567 to go with the Legends of the Dark Knight 120. Yeah, first Batgirl Cassandra Cain. So yeah, who knows how these books are doing? I haven't looked at prices since Birds of Prey promo has picked up. Also got a Batman 550. Yeah, this is there's only 2 of these in the CGC 9.8. It was from a seller in Canada, and he had both of them in the 9.8. And I looked on the census, and there's only literally 2 CGC 9.8. So, this is the first appearance of Claything and Cameron Chase. So Cameron Chase, a female detective. Who knows how that could go? Possibly be in a movie. You never know. I think she might have been in like the Supergirl series or something like that. And first appearance of Claything, which is kind of like the modern Clayface almost. Batman 550, yeah, I thought it was cool. It was $100. Two of them on the census, which is kind of why I bought it, to be honest. Batman 475, first Renee Montoya. Yeah, these are just all the Birds of Prey first appearances. Grab that one when it popped up in Canada for super cheap shipping, and why not? Batman 450, really cool Joker cover. Bought this in Canada too. It was I think it was like $90 or something like that. A little bit of an overpay, but because it's not really key or anything, but I really like this Joker cover. It's a brief origin of Joker too, which is kind of cool. Batman 428, Death of Robin. Yeah, I was looking for this one for quite a while, and I've seen it sell for cheaper since then. I think, when I was looking for it, I was doing like months of searches, and it wasn't popping up in the CGC 9.8 white pages, and it did pop up from a seller, and it was on auction, and got a bit of a bidding war, I think, going, so I forget exactly what I paid, but I've seen it go for kind of like $280, I think, since, which is less than what I paid. 408 is the first, it's a origin of Jason Todd. It happens over 3 issues, so this is kind of the first issue. Lamborghini Countach cover, which is kind of the reason why I bought it, to be honest. Alright. Batman 404. Yeah, one of my kind of top affordable CGC 9.8s to buy, I would say, certainly in the Batman range. Yep. Love that issue. I got a Batman 368. The first official Jason Todd Robin. Although I like Batman 366 better. But this one popped up in Canada and it was a decent price, so I grabbed it in an old case. But yeah, nice looking copy for sure. Pretty glad I bought this. Why not? Alright, yeah, next book. I have one raw copy of it as well, and it's a pristine one. I mentioned this periodically that I had a raw copy of this book. Yeah, certainly one I want to send to CGC if I ever send an order to CGC again. Luckily, I got a newsstand version of the Batman 366 and the 9.8 white pages newsstand. This is first Jason Todd Robin in his costume. So I like this issue better than that official one that I just showed you. This is 2 issues earlier, better, cooler Joker cover. Walt Simonson Joker cover, classic artist. And, so 366, yeah, and I like it so much, I got a direct version. Direct, the first one was the newsstand. Yeah, the direct one I paid just over 200 Canadian, which I thought was a great price. This is a super cool one. I got a Batman 358. There's only like 20-something of these in the CGC 9.8. Some of them probably not white pages, so this is a pretty rare collector item. There was one on eBay that was tempting me, and I believe they had it for like $1.99 American, which I think is a really good price for this one, considering there's only 20-something of them. I didn't look on the census this morning, but I'm pretty sure it was like 20 or 21. First Killer Croc cover with his face hidden, it says in brackets here. But yeah, Batman 357 is first full appearance of Killer Croc, so an early appearance of Killer Croc. And in that, most of these issues are sort of in that Batman 357 to Batman 402 low print run. This is one of them, so not a lot of these out there, and I like this cover a lot too. So I thought, why not? Decided to pick one up. Okay, getting into some detective comics, so I want to... Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just keep going here and get this box over with. I got kind of the part 2 of the code, so this is third appearance of Harley Quinn in DC continuity, Detective 737. I like that cover too. That's one I remember from collecting in the 90s. Detective 583. This is the first Scarface and the ventriloquist, so a really cool Batman villain. This could be one to kind of speculate on before the Batman movie comes out. You never know. Apparently there's going to be a lot of villains in it, so I don't know too many details on that, but Scarface and the ventriloquist had a pretty cool appearance on Gotham series, which was received quite well. So apparently the actor did a pretty good job. And yeah, there's less than 100 of those in the CGC 9.8. That's a really high grade one too. I'm really happy to grab that one. I like that one. Detective 576. Year 2, Part 2. This is a first... I'm pretty sure the first Todd McFarlane Batman art. But it's, Todd McFarlane and Pablo Marcos team up for the cover here. Kind of got the sort of circle McFarlane signature of the 80s that used to really like drawing circles on his covers. So yeah, a really cool one actually that you could, this in the CGC 9.8 you can kind of grab for like 120-ish. Not too expensive. Okay, yeah, Detective, one of my personal favorites. Detective 525. Glad I have this one in the CGC 9.8. My favorite Killer Croc cover by far. It's an early appearance. It just comes out, a couple months after the first appearance of Killer Croc. And less than 100 of these, I believe, in the CGC 9.8 as well. And a childhood, cover that I remember from my childhood. So, yeah, I was really happy to grab that one. And yes, one I purchased not too long ago. Another familiar one from my childhood for sure. This is, the first appearance of Killer Croc in cameo in this book. And it's the first full appearance. Yeah, they kind of go really well together. They're almost like, made in those toned colors, each having their own toned color. So they're almost like sketch covers almost, being the same color. But, and both done by Ed Hannigan and Dick Giordano. But there's only 30-something of these in the CGC 9.8. When I saw that, I really kind of drilled down that I wanted to grab this book. Classic Batman book. Yeah, Detective 523. That one is. Now, a really good one. Next one here. Certainly, if you're a fan, the Batman Vengeance of Bane, special number 1. First full appearance and origin of Bane. If you're a Bane fan, this is the one to get. You know, don't even think about getting any others, pretty much. About $220 something for this book. Maybe in an old case you get it under $200 if you get lucky. But first appearance, Origin of Bane. Definitely wanted to get that one. And thankfully, last book in this box. I don't have to keep going over. Batman Harley Quinn. Yeah, first full appearance of Harley Quinn. A book I grabbed in Canada with really cheap shipping. Kind of a opportunistic buy, I would say, for $290, this book, which is toward the low end of what this book's selling for. Certainly, yeah, you see people paying $350 for this book. Yeah, I've seen $350, and sometimes, most of the time in an auction, it's like $300, $310 for a really good looking one. So yeah, $290, I think, toward the lower end of fair market value. So yeah, all those books. That was the first box, but there's still more. But all those books, you know, you can kind of pick and choose which ones are the most nostalgic to you or which ones you like the most. Because, again, like right now, I think the kind of time to buy Batman books. I'll show you this one. I got a Teen Titans 12. Really awesome, modern book. This book's kind of hot, you know, right now. I, recommend to be patient on this one. It's the first full appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. So, I think probably the coolest villain that's come out in the last couple of years that I can really think of. Certainly there's Null. I think Venom number 3 with Null, and then this Teen Titans 12, first full appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. There's over 400 of these in the CGC 9.8 white pages. So some people think it's like really rare for some reason, but I think over 400, you can afford to be patient on it. Prices, you see some sell for $350, but I think wait and get it under $300. I think it's a modern book. There'll be more and more CGC 9.8s coming, so great first appearance to get, but I think if you can get it closer to $250, that's going to be really good. That'll be a decent price. Next one, I'll show you this one. Spawn Batman. Sort of two of my favorite heroes together with Frank Miller and Todd McFarlane doing, the story and the cover and the art, teaming up for this book, and one that I would recommend to buy. That is, about $100, a little over $100. In the CGC 9.8, like I think that's a sweet book to have for that price. Batman: The Killing Joke. Yes, classic Joker story, and this is pretty much like the obvious Joker book. For I know the Joker movie wasn't really based on any comic in particular, but every now and then I've been seeing some weird prices. Like our last video, this went for $270. When normally they go for like $175. So someone, I think, is buying into the Oscar buzz and just kind of a noob, just didn't really know the price history of this and grabbed it for $270. Okay, Batman we're into here. Done with that. Okay, we just got a couple more here. Great. Batman 436. Yeah, first Tim Drake. So third Robin, and again another character that hasn't really been in like a live action movie. He's been in some DCU and shows and things like that, but Tim Drake in a live action movie hasn't really happened, so there's that. And I paid that's the CBCS 9.8 too, to mention that, but you can get that. I've seen it go on auctions for under $100. First Tim Drake in the CGC 9.8. I paid $100 for mine in the CBCS 9.8. Really nice copy of that one, like just looking at it, very well centered, nice colors. But, for that price, one of the best first appearances I think you can get, certainly out of Batman books. I got another Batman 404. I showed you that other one. Yeah, I have one of these in a raw copy, too, a very high-grade one as well. That's cool to have as well. And, okay, I think this is the last one. One of my newer Batman books that I purchased. I have 2 copies of this, but I left the other copy in the other box. But Batman 666. First Damian as Batman, and first appearance of Professor Pig, who's a kind of a crazy Batman villain, and Certainly, with the Batman movie coming out, you never know what kind of villains will be in it or cameoing in it or whatever. So, yeah, first Professor Pig, he's kind of like a psychotic surgeon who wears a pig mask and has all these like pig followers wearing pig masks that are, yeah, because he's trying to like create the perfect being in his sick, sadistic way. Yeah, but villain that I kind of like. So, yeah, I got 2 Batman 666. Pretty affordable kind of first Damian Wayne as Batman out of a modern Batman issue. I think it's probably my pick out of those sort of first appearance issues of Damian Wayne of that era. Okay, yeah, that is it. So hopefully this video is probably really long, but wanted to show you all my Batman comics and make a general recommendation at this time because, you know, I like to position yourself before the movie comes out, position yourself before the trailer comes out. I think that's way more savvy than, you know, the trailer for the Batman comes out and maybe people are liking the shots of Pattinson and Robert Pattinson. And, you know, all these issues will get really hot, I think. So kind of want to do it before all that promotion starts, I think is more savvy. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching today. I'd invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Yeah, hit the bell when you subscribe, hit the bell, get all their latest notifications, and add me on Instagram too. I got all the links in the description below. But yeah, thanks for watching today. Definitely, the time to buy Batman comics is now before that movie comes out. So, yeah, I definitely wanted to make a video and let you guys know. But thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the support in the comments out there too. And I'll see you on the next one.